welcome back to my channel. I know another sit down video, and I promised everyone on my Instagram that I was uploading a vlog this week. I will upload a vlog this week, but it's just that this video will come before the vlog, so I'm apologizing in advance, but I will be uploading a vlog soon. Okay, so this is my end of the year of 2024 book tag, which is like just bookish questions, and I will be answering them. So it's just my reading journey throughout the year and how it has been. I would say that I discussed this in my last video that there is quite, like, I've read quite a range of books. Like, not every one book like it's like the same genre. I've read romance, I've read memoirs, I have read what have I read? Wait, did I just read romance and memoir? No, I did not actually. I have read some other books, but I just don't. I have read literary fiction. I have read poems. I have read books with different kind of concepts in them, and and as the video progresses, I will discuss what my plans for the next year is with reading and all, and so I guess we should just start with the questions. I will say, not I have not read many, like I have read many books on my physical TBR, but I would not say that I've read that many that I can include in this list. So most of these are on my Kindle. I am like a frequent Kindle reader over like physical book reader, and I mostly I have this bad habit of owning every book that I read on my Kindle. If I love it, then I'll own it, or I may own them in advance sometimes. Okay, so grab your cup of coffee or your cup of tea or any drink of your choice, and because this video is going to be longer than any of my sit down videos because I have so many questions to answer, but I hope you stick around till the end. Let's start with the question first, which is my most disappointing read of the year. And I would not say like I was disappointed, but I would say that was not the right time for me to read that book. So that is why I got disappointed. So earlier this year in January, I had this plan that I also wanna read fantasy, but I did started fantasy, which was one of my first book, which is Assistant to the Villain. The concept was very nice. The I thought that I would love that book, but I ended up DNFing it because I did not. Like I was not used to reading fantasy, or maybe I just did not like the writing, but I did not love it, which is Assistant to the Villain. And I know, I guess it's a trilogy or something, and next the books are still coming out, but I want to give it another shot maybe next year. Not right now. I'm not in the mood to read fantasy at all, but the concept was very nice, everything was really nice. It was just I expected it to be different and I was disappointed. And yeah, I don't have much to talk about this book in general because I rarely remember, like, I actually DNF'd it, so I cannot actually explain to you what I did not like about this book, but it's just that I expected something different and it gave me something different, and then I was disappointed. What was an underdog book of the year? Which is some, I guess most of these books that I'm going to be talking about, like either my disappointing read or something that surprised me, it's in the beginning of the year because that was the time when I was reading a lot of books, and that is where I discovered a lot of new things. And after that, my reading speed slowed down so much that I'm rarely reading any books. Okay, so the underdog book of the year is for me The Trouble with Hating You, which is a Desi romance, which I read a Desi romance after a very long time, and I wasn't expecting much about this book. And by looking at the cover, I was expecting like it to be a rom-com book, like a very happy book, but it had such, such depth and such triggering, not triggering, like you have to check the trigger warnings, but the way author portrays and like just discusses this topics is just so amazing to me. I got really frustrated in this book, not because of the storyline but because of some characters, and I was really angry at times. And I do not do this very often, but I opened up my notes app and I just wrote down what I was feeling at that point because I knew once I finish this book, I'm not gonna have those vivid emotions in me. So that is why I wrote it at that time, and that this book made me feel so many emotions that I feel like it has to be the underdog book of the year, because I did not expected it to be such high up in my list, and it was like one of my first 5-star reads of the year. So I love this book very, very much. Yeah. What was an overhyped book of the year? Well, I would not say this book is overhyped, because I don't like the word overhyped. I guess every book is meant for someone and it is not overhyped. But I expected a lot from this book, and it did not satisfy me, and I felt like so many people were talking about this book, and I feel like I could not relate because I wasn't able to enjoy this book as much as people did. It is Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and I'm very sad to say that I do not like this book, because I loved every single Ali Hazelwood book. It's just not like that I have not liked this book. I read it like 70%, and then I just DNF'd it for some reason, because I could not, like, I did not have the interest in me to complete this. And I guess that is the reason that I am not a fantasy reader, because this is fantasy. I haven't been able to complete it. Assistant to the Villain was fantasy. I wasn't able to complete it. So I guess fantasy is something that I have to work on, or like I'm not on that level to read fantasy right now, because I just don't enjoy it. But yeah, I know many of you enjoy this book a lot. I did not, sadly, and that is just my fault. A book that surprised you. Now, contradictory to the book that I discussed right now, it's it's Check-in Mate by Ali Hazelwood. It's a young adult book by her, and honestly, I do not enjoy young adult. I do not. But something about this book, just I just loved it. That is why it surprised me, because this was the book that I read in March. It was like sitting on my shelf for 6 months, and I was like, I have to pick it up, I have to pick it up. I did not. And then I picked it up and I was like, this is amazing, I want more. It was just that good, and I would just want a book of them playing chess. Like, I would just enjoy that. I just loved this book so much, mostly because I play chess, so that is why I enjoyed it. Because I saw so many, like, not so many, but I saw some people talk about this book that they were not, because they had to search up chess, or like they were not enjoying because of the chess elements in it. And I particularly enjoyed this book because of the chess elements in it. And my sister is also, she loves to play chess, so she also loved this book, and she was like, you have to read it. And that is why I read it, and I was like, yeah, this book is amazing. Favorite book couples. Now, if you watched my favorite reads of the year book, I did not discuss this book, and I was like, I don't know if I will be able to find a new favorite of mine. But I completed a book 2 days ago, and I love it. It's called Book Lovers, and this is not my, I would not do the favorite books all over again, but the couple in this, Nora and Charlie, they are my favorite couple of the year. I love them so much. It's like, I don't know, they hate each other, but I just don't want to give too much of the story, because I listened to the audiobook of this and I don't know what is in the blurb, and I just don't want to give any spoilers. But these two characters are in publishing. They hate each other. Their first meet was awful. Nora is known as the shark, I guess, and Charlie is an editor, and they are like work nemesis. But it's their love story in a small town. What else do you want more? It's lovely, and listen to the audiobook of this, you will enjoy it. Like, I love this book so much, so much. But Nora and Charlie, they have a special place in my heart now. Favorite main character. I feel like every book that I've discussed so far is on my physical TBR, which is something that I have not said, that I've not read many books on my physical TBR this year. But I bought some of these books after I've read them, and this is one of them. This character is my favorite main character of the year. It's Elizabeth Zott, which she is a chemist. She is so amazing. I will look up to her every time. Like, she is a chemist in a time where it's like male dominating industry, or like male dominating everywhere, and I just love her so much. I just don't want to give too much of the story. I guess she is a chemist in a time where just men expect women to be housewives and just do housework and not be involved in like science and just everything in general. I just love her so much, and this she is one of my favorite characters. Like, she shows how hard it is to be a woman in a time where people just like men just hate you for being a woman, or just like people hate you for being a woman. Oh, the next thing is a author that did not work for you. And this author, I've read this book, like I've read the books of this author like years or like last year, and I loved the books that I've read, but something about this year did not work it for me. It's called Cora Riley, which is a dark romance author, and I've loved her books last year, but something about her books this year just did not hit it for me. Even the books that I loved last year, they were my comfort reads, but now I just don't read them at all. Like, it's just very rare if I pick those books up. And I don't know what my problem. I believe she was termed as a problematic author for some reason, and I don't know why. But I have not read the controversy at all. But I guess her recent release wasn't even that good. I haven't read it because I was just not excited about it. Last year I was very excited about that release, and I was like, I want to read it when it is coming out. But as soon as it came out, I was like, I don't want to read it. Next, the most frustrating read of the year, and this is where it gets like this. I remember like the time when I read this book. It was a time when I was seeing that my reading, like I will read so many like frustrating books, and I read this book and I was like, shit. I'm frustrated, but I want to go to the next book. Okay, it's called Hate Mail. I don't remember the name of the author, but something about, I guess it's Hate Mail, and then it's something else. Maybe I just don't remember. Or was it Bitter something? Yes, it was Hate Mail, and it was, I guess, about a single couple. Okay, okay, I just confused myself with two books. Okay, there was, I guess, Bitter Heat, something about that book also. That was also a trilogy. I will include, like, it will be shown here. And there was this Hate Mail. I guess I don't remember much of the story of Hate Mail, just that these two people hate each other, and they are in a marriage of convenience, and then the MMC sends the FMC hate mails. I guess it is about that, and I just hated this book so much. It was very frustrating. I ended up completing it, but I gave it 1 star. Then there was this series about something bitter, something he bitter. I don't know. I just read 2 books by that. Third book was about to come out. It has came out, but I haven't read it because I don't want to get myself even more frustrated. But the three books were about one couple, and it was like it was doing it like the storyline was repeating itself. Like in the first book, the couple gets together, they are together 70% through the book, I guess, from what I remember. If I'm saying it wrong, then just don't come for me. But then something bad happens, the FMC leaves, the book ends. The next book starts, they are not together, I guess. Now again something happens, they are not together anymore. And I guess why I got frustrated with this book, because the MMC was treating the FMC so bad that I was like, I just don't want to read it. But then I was like, maybe the ending is good, and then it was not. It was not at all good. It was like it left on a cliffhanger, and then the book was coming out, I guess, 2 to 3 months after that, and I was like, I don't want to read it. The best adaptation of the year, which I haven't watched that many adaptations this year. One of the adaptations coming right now, I guess that is Kulpatuya. If I'm pronouncing it right, don't come for me. It is the second movie in the Kulpamaya series, but it's coming out on 27th of December. So maybe if I'll watch it this year, I don't know. But I watched Idea of You, which I loved this year. I love that book. I love that movie so much. I haven't read the book, but I love the movie a lot. Like I did not even know the book existed until the movie came out. So I don't know what that says about me, but I also watched, like I went to the movie theaters to watch It Ends With Us. Never have I ever been more disappointed with the book adaptation, because I know I just don't like It Ends With Us. I do appreciate it because it's the book that got me into reading, but looking back to it, I just don't want to read it ever again, but I appreciate it. But the movie, like the filmmakers did the movie so wrong. Like I believe that from what I remember with It Ends With Us, that Colleen Hoover was at some point discussing how bad um, domestic violence is, but in the movies it was not even mentioned anywhere, and the movie just felt like a summary of the book. If you haven't read the book, it just feels like, I don't know how you will, like, it just feels like scene one, cut, then scene two, there is nothing in between, does not flow. That is what I meant to say. And in the book, it was so, like, book was, like, I loved that book. At the time that I read it, I was like, yeah, this book got me into reading. I love this book so much. Yeah, I did love it. But then my love for it went downhill. But I appreciate the book, but the movie just, the filmmakers did it very wrong. I just did not love it. It just felt like a summary of the movie, like of the book, and I'm just confusing myself at this point. But I just did not love it. I expected to love it because I expected the filmmakers to bring awareness about domestic violence and how these kind of environments are not good at home, but they just did not. It just felt like they were just, it was just a love story, a just love triangle, and then I did not like the movie. Favorite cover of the year, I did not, like, I do not own any special editions at all. I am very broke because I buy books very randomly, and then I don't have any money, so I cannot afford special editions of books. But these are some of the books that I feel like I can look at the covers and never get bored. Like, they are so pretty. I haven't read the book, but I just love the covers, and I bought these this year. So yeah, first one, I guess I discussed this on my Instagram while I was just doing the book haul, that I love the cover of Wild Love. Like, I don't know what it is about this book, but it's just the shade of pink, the illustrations, and I just love it. And then the next is Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. For me, it is these. I guess these are these are letters. I just love these letters, and then these hearts, and these are my favorite covers. I just don't know why they are pink. Like, I just don't know why I like them. They are pink, but not a fan. Like, I love pink, but not a big fan of pink. But I love these books. Like, I love the covers of these books so much. I haven't read it. A book that you haven't stopped thinking about, which is something I discussed in also my favorite books of the year. It's called Swear on This Life by Renai Kalino. I have also discussed that why I love this book so much. If you want to see that, you can just go in that video and just see it. I just don't want to bore you in this video anymore. But I just love that book so much. I read it in a day, and then even now I cannot stop thinking about it, and it has came into like one of my top 5 favorite reads ever. And I want to give Before We Were Strangers a try because I love this book so much that I have a lot of expectations for that book as well, because this book is like her underrated book, and Before We Were Stranger is her like most popular book, the author's most popular book. So I have a lot of expectations for that book specifically. This is the book with the most unique concept. I have discussed this book. There is another book that I have to discuss with this book because I just love that book. Okay, the first book that I have read with a unique concept in it is Conversations on Love by Natasha Lan. This is a memoir, but she interviews people and she asks about their like love in general, like relationship, friendship, self-love, and just parenthood, and just expectations in love. And this is a memoir, but I loved it so much that I constantly reread it. And yeah, I feel like I will read it again this day. Oh, I feel like I will read it again today. The English is not English for me. And second book with a unique concept that I've read, I've also discussed this a lot. It's The Lover's Dictionary by David Levithan, which is a book about love in a form of a dictionary. I'm not gonna say much because I've already talked about this book a lot, and I don't want to bore you guys about talking about this book again and again and again. Book you would reread. Again, it's on my physical TBR, and I will definitely reread this. This is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Again, I knew I would love this book. I should have read it before I made my favorite books of the year video. I just love this book so much. I cannot stop even thinking about it. It's like I want to read it now. I just love it so much. I loved the characters. Again, it's an Emily Henry book. I have to give Emily Henry book like some time, and after I've just read like 5 to 10 chapters, it just flows for me. So that is what happens with this book. I read it in parts. Like I started it in March. I was reading it in June. I was reading it in September, stopped it, and then I started listening to the audiobook of this. And after I was past like 10 chapters, I was like, it flows. So that is what happens with every Emily Henry books that I've ever read. I cannot read them in like a single go, but I will read them. Now this is a question that I have to discuss. It's not like my books and everything. So, my Goodreads goal for 2024 was not met. I originally set it for 75 books, but then something in my mind, because I was reading so much in January, that I felt like I will complete this goal in like July or something, but I did not. So like I did not complete 75 books in July also, but in March I changed it to 100 books because I felt like, yeah, I can read 100 books in this year. I did not. I read around 60 books this year, which is very close to 75, but I'm not sad that I did not met my Goodreads, because it is not a big deal for me, because I've seen so many book creators like their goal is like 150 books or 130 books and they have read it, and I'm not sad about it, because I feel like, because I was changing my taste, like I was reading more unique genres, that I feel like I had to give myself time and I have to slowly read these. I cannot just fast like read it in like snap of my fingers. And because I read romance books for a long time, I can read it in a day. But something about like changing the books, even if it's in romance, but uh, the main genre is something else, like the romance is like a sub-genre, I have to give it time. Like I cannot just read it in a day, and that is why I'm not sad that I haven't met my Goodreads reading goal of 2024. And the next question, which is the last question, is what will you prioritize in your reading in 2025? Which is, I have to discuss that I will not be using Goodreads as my reading stats or whatever, I don't know what to call it. Like I will not set my reading goal on Goodreads. I will set it, but I will not like update it regularly, because I just don't like the app at all. It just hangs so much. I just hate it. But I will be using Fable, which is something that not recently, but I found out a year ago. And the app is amazing. The app has so many new features, and just Goodreads feels like it was meant for people in 2010s. It is not meant for people in 2024, because it hangs so much. It has no new unique features, nothing. And Fable, it provides you with, I have seen people, because people have been using Fable as a like reading goal app, and they have gotten this amazing summary of the books they've read this year, and then you can build your own bookshelf in it, and then you can have a book club in it, you can have a movie club in it, you can just TV shows and all of that, and I just love it. And then how many books I'm gonna read for the next year, I'm not gonna go for an obnoxious amount, because I feel like I will not be able to complete it, but I'm gonna set it at some, say, I would have to say like a moderate level. In like 50 books is enough, because I don't know, I can read many, like I can read beyond 50 books, or I can not even complete 50 books this year. It's just an amount that I feel like I would read, but I'm not holding myself, like I'm not forcing myself to read 50 books next year. 2024, I have, learned this lesson that I do not have to read as much as other people are reading, because I'm my own person, and I will read when I will enjoy, and if I'm not enjoying reading at a point, I will give it some space and then I will start again, and that will make me enjoy reading. Because then if I'll not do that, then reading just feels like a job to me, and it's my hobby. I don't want to feel like make it feel like a job. So yeah, And these are all my bookish questions. I've been talking for half an hour, which is so long. I have to cut this video down so much. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you all in the vlog next. If you want to follow me on any of my social medias, they are all linked down below. You can go and follow me there. I recommend books on Instagram as well, like on a daily basis. And I'll see you all in the next video very, very soon. Bye.